Hi there, Una here. You're very welcome to my channel. This video I'm calling Cover Plate Project because what I was trying to do was to imitate those gorgeous cover plates that cover the whole front of a card and create a beautiful background. I tried to do it today with some heart dies and I hope you'll tell me what you think. I discarded the big dies in my stash to use the smaller ones and adhered them in a sort of a circular pattern on a post-it note. I then cut them out and that was going to be my cutting tool. I took a 5x7 die from a Waffle Flower A7 layering set and cut out a panel of Nina Solar White 110-pound card. On the cutting plate of my Gemini Junior, I placed the panel and the dies and then flipped over the sandwich and cut it out. And it cut really well. Now, I'm really proud of myself here. I invented a special tool. A blob of blue tack. I couldn't get the paper out of the dies, so I decided, that works a treat. Sometimes a couple of stabs are needed, but it was very successful. I used it the whole way through this project. So I turned the dies and found a place for them and cut them out again. Now, in case you're wondering why I'm doing the cutting this way in my Gemini Junior, you have to put the sandwich into the Gemini Junior with the cutting side of the dies up. But I wanted to be able to see where I was placing my cutting tool, my circle of hearts, so I needed to be able to place them face down. So the best thing to do was put my cutting plate down, the die face down, and then because I taped all my plates, the rest of my plates together, I was able to put them on top, turn it over and put it into my machine. Now when I got to the end, I separated the dies and cut out any, and filled in any of the spaces that were on the, what I'm calling my cover plate. And I think it ended up looking really nice. I was sorry I had let the two at the sides go over the edge. I wouldn't do that when I'm doing it again. I will keep it inside the panel. My base is a 5x7 Paper Mania and I thought this looked great. I was really pleased with it. It would have made a super card just as it was, white on white as a background. But I wanted to put something behind it and that red card looked nice and this gold foil one looked really nice. But I had watched Jennifer Maguire this week doing sparkle embossing backgrounds and I decided, I'll try that. So I smooshed on Versamark and with my Stampendous sparkle I covered it and heated it up. Now Jennifer Maguire used Hero Arts powder and she did say that it wasn't super sparkly, which this was, and I suspect that was the difference, and you'll see in a moment how my problems began. So I used loads of glue, lots of glue, and I've never had any problems with this high-tack, fast-tack glue before. It's a super glue. And I've often stuck things to glitter paper in the past. So I popped on my stamping tools there. And when it dried, I felt everything was okay. I was even able to cut out the panel. It wasn't sitting very well on the front of the card, so I used the next die. But next morning, look what I found on my desk. Oh, I was horrified. Iridescent sparkle, with which I have a love-hate relationship at the best of times. No sign of the glue. Yeah, I had to find a solution. I didn't want to go down the glue route again or tape. I felt it just wouldn't adhere to the sparkliness of the red. So I cut out loads and loads of hearts out of the paper I had made, got stick-it adhesive, laid down the panel on that. Now, I was running into all sorts of problems because there were so many openings on the panel. And look at the way it stuck to my finger here. Every time I touched the paper, I was removing adhesive. Now, I did work out that if I started sticking the pieces in from the bottom up, I was soon able to handle it without removing the adhesive. But that was the first of my problems. Now comes the second. I was finding it difficult to chop off the edges. The thickened edges weren't cutting very well. And look, I had to trim it down again. My scissors was getting so sticky at this stage, I had to take out sticky stuff remover and clean it. So I decided, right, remove the release paper, we're nearly there. The release paper wouldn't come off without removing the pieces, and lots of the stickiness was staying on the release paper, and it just wouldn't pull off. Now, I speeded this up 32 times normal. So that'll give you some idea of how frustrating the process was of getting this off. But I eventually got it onto the card, filled in with my liquid glue any place the stick-it had come off, got it onto the card base, put little pieces in place that hadn't stuck, burnished it carefully, and it was looking great. If I didn't need to go and have a lie down at this stage, I'd have been super happy. I do this when I want to cut a shadow for dies. Cut them out in reverse, get rid of any creases, and then adhere the words. A very easy process and super handy when you don't have a shadow die. I adhered 2 layers of card to the back of that, and yeah, I was super happy with this card. For the second one, I used a much stronger adhesive, and I used a typing paper at this stage. That was the mistake, by the way, I made the first time. I had totally forgotten that I should have adhered the stick-it first to a panel or to a piece of typing paper, something like that. Now I'm running into the stickiness problem here again. Look at this. I was tying myself in knots trying to cut it. And then I remembered that in my last project, my last video, I discovered that press and seal is a great barrier for keeping your scissors free from stickiness. So I used little bits of press and seal to help me cut it. Now I had to trim down the panel and I wasn't happy with that edge. So as a solution, I decided to put my sentiment there. I used a Lawn Cut stitched border die to emboss a lovely pattern on a piece of white card, and I die cut a Lawn Cuts Sending Hugs, and with double-sided tape I adhered down the sentiment strip and some gold, thin gold strips around the edge. I thought that just created a nice border. And in the end, despite all my problems, I was really happy with this card, and the other one too. Super cards. Thank you so much for being with me today. I hope you'll come back to Una's Crafty Cards. Some more videos you might like to watch. I would love if you would subscribe to my channel. And if you liked this video, please do give it a thumbs up. That's really important for the success of my channel. If you'd like to leave a comment below, I'll get back to you. All the best for now. Bye, and do take great care.